This is your 2020 Subaru Legacy, all new 7th generation. Let's go Quirks, Perks, and Irks. Front end, nice and conservative, typical Subaru. Sorry about the angle of the car. The parking lot's on an angle, and there's only so much I can control in life. Everybody who gets a 2020 Legacy gets LED fog lights, LED day runners, and LED regular lights. Turn signals here are halogen, but it casts a very nice and I'm going to say upscale look for the Subaru Legacy. And usually Subaru doesn't go all out and flashy. They're more of the, I don't want to say plain Jane, but it's conservative, but it still looks very, very nice and elegant. There's your front quarter profile, turn signals in the side mirrors. There's that. Yeah, 18-inch wheels, nice rim design. Again, not overly flashy, but good enough to get the job done. One other quick thing up front I like, actually that's a really good angle. You can see the sculpt of the hood, or sculpting thing. Why are my words so bad? You can see the sculpted hood. There you go, that's a good fix for it. So that's a nice little attention to detail. Let's back up, take a look at the side profile. It's a sedan. It's, again, pretty conservative. To me, it kind of looks like an Accord that went to the gym and got some muscles. Just the Accord, or the new Accord, tends to be a little on the, I guess, the thinner and sleeker side, kind of going down that way. But anyways, not a bad look overall for the Legacy. Let's go around the rear. Perk for me is this is blacked out instead of it being chrome or some other weird color. I really, really like that. It looks very, very sharp. You have your halogen turn signals, and that's what your rear looks like overall. The tailpipes, it's a single tailpipe, which is right over there. I don't know if you can see it, but I don't care that it's a single because I can't see either of them. And for me, symmetry is a big thing. Another little quirk, the actual badging of the word Legacy, it's connected there, but to get the C and the Y connected, they had to put a little stopgap thing up there. So pretty nice. Oh, there I am in the reflection. Just went through a car wash, so you can see a little bit of dirt because, well, car washes aren't perfect. There's a Subaru badging right there. There is your shark fin antenna. Interestingly, I'll get into more of this on the inside, there is a Harman Kardon subwoofer, but it's interesting they placed it on the driver's side as opposed to like maybe in the middle or put in two smaller subs. Anyways, let's crack open the trunk. Where are we? There we go. Sorry, and there's your little release just to the right of center of the logo. So pretty good space, pretty good amount of space, 428 liters, but it's better than the outgoing model because there's more functional use of the space. It's only 3 liters bigger than the trunk from last time. So good on you there, Subaru, and you have a little more storage in there as well. Here's an Irk. There's no handle to close the trunk with. I don't, if you got your car washed, the last thing you want to do is what I'm doing is get your fingers in there, and you don't want to hang on to that, and you don't want to pull the, oh my goodness, I'm locked in a trunk of a car tab. So I just kind of grab onto that and give it a little tug and hope it goes. That's going to wrap the outside up. Let's take another quick look. Rear quarter. It's a good looking vehicle. I like it in black. I don't know if I'd like it in, I don't know, like silver, blue, or any other color. I think it looks really nice and sharp in black. All right, 3.5 minutes. Let's take a look at the inside. Be right back. Really cool thing Subaru does is when you have your auto start stop on, it actually shows you how many minutes it's been on for and how many milliliters of fuel you've saved. So that's really cool. Sorry if it's crooked. Let me straighten that out a bit. Anyways, really cool touch there. I'm going to put my foot off the brake for a sec. Oops, a little jarring. So another cool thing is my foot's on the brake. I'm not going anywhere. You can see that the needle's at 0. But the brake lights are on. So if I take my foot off the brake, lights go off. My foot on the brake, lights go on. So kind of a cool little thing there, Subaru. And I'm going to see if I can get the auto start stop to kick in one more time. Nope, I'm not going fast enough because I'm going like half a kilometer just to show you the brakes. Anyways, be right back. Inside look, 2020 Legacy. I start with a Perk. Seat release is up there as opposed to being down there. Irk, it's not a pull tab. You gotta push down maybe with your middle finger and ring finger, hold it down. With the other 2 fingers, pull the seat down like that. Or if you have 2 hands, a little easier, but still a little weird. 2-stage outboard heated seats in the rear. There they are. That person in the middle, nothing. Perk, the headrest is adjustable forwards and backwards as opposed to just up and down. So thank you for that, Subaru, for realizing we are not all the same size. This is a little quirky. It's just a big, massive piece for a small little window switch. Perk, all 4 windows are auto up, auto down. So nicely done there, Subaru. Cool little quirk. Subaru's logo shows up in the side mirror. It doesn't do anything. It's not a safety thing. It just shows up. Can we get that in focus? Can we get that in focus? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so let's take a look at the inside. Starting at the front, nice clean door panels. You have the Harman Kardon 12 speaker audio system, 576 watts. And there's a look at the logo. Seats, very, very nice, very comfortable, good bolsters, top and bottom. And just a nice upscale looking cabin overall. So there's a lot to go through. I did this earlier and it was 10 minutes and it was way too long. So having said that, let's get through it as soon as possible. Here's a quirk and a perk. Even though the buttons are diagonal, the words face straight. So kind of cool, as opposed to some other cars where it's all on an angle and looks funny. Let's start her up. Push button start down there. All right, let's get to it. Oh, let's get rid of that music before we get hit with a copyright from YouTube. Analog on the outside, digital on the inside. This used to control the second screen. Remember when Subaru had their little small screen here and the big screen down there? Now it controls everything in the middle. It's going to run through some stuff middle of the top. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. Quirky, weird thing is my foot's on the brake and the brake lights are on. My foot's off the brake now. The brake lights go off. On, off, on, off. Kind of weird, kind of quirky, but hey, you know, not too bad. Lots of stuff. I'm gonna open the door again. Lots of soft touch materials. There's my hand right there, and there you can kind of see my finger going in. So really, really nice. I don't care for the piano black. I call it an Irk. Steering wheel, nice. Interesting thing. Sorry, nice and solid. Interesting thing is when you put the heated steering wheel on, this part does not heat up. It's all there and stops at the top seam. So I don't know, I kind of feel like Subaru should have gone the extra mile and gotten everything heated. So there's that. Paddle shifters, plasticky. I didn't use them once. That's not true. I did use them once and once only. I think paddle shifters are far overrated. All right, so let's go down here. Parking brake, a little quirky because it's up as opposed to it being down. Irk, piano black, catches all the fingerprints. This is a big Irk for me. It's just a gaping hole. There's no way to cover it, or there's no slide or retracting thing. It just, that's what I see when I drive. So I'm looking at the road, looking down for the screen stuff, and just, it looks weird, kind of gapey and strange and peculiar. Speaking of that, that's where your 2 USBs and auxiliary are. Go to the cup holders. Perk, they have this in here, and that allows you to have a small drink that's elevated as opposed to taller drinks, which don't need to come up as high. So very nicely done there. I'm saving the screen for last. Don't worry, I'm getting to it because it's what everyone's talking about. 2-level tray for storage. My wallet is up here, the thin one, and then down at the bottom is the bigger one, and it's also got a cigarette lighter adapter power source thing there. Close her up. I think Subaru missed a nice branding opportunity because there is nothing on the top of the gear shift. It looks a little on the plain side to me. Just I wish they would have done something. Okay, so we've done that. Oh, sunroof. Quick. There we go. I love that it's manual. You know, less moving parts as far as mechanics go. It's one less thing that has to be fixed if it breaks. You got, which is cool, LED interior lights. Well done there, Subaru. All right, the screen. There's a lot going on. Let's start with the perimeter. Hard touch button, 4-way hard touch button, volume. To me, that's useless. The tune / hold button. If you're gonna give me a hard touch button, give it to me for something that's actually useful. People have their presets, people listen to podcasts. It's very rare that people will actually use that. So useless to me. Front defogger, rear defogger, good to have those there. And temperature up and downs on the sun. We close that sunshade so we can get a little less reflection. All right, so that covers, oops, there was the wipers. Oops. All right, so that covers the outside. One thin line at the top, one big box in the middle, one thin line at the bottom. Okay, let's go to the top. You have four options. You have your audio. You have the street you're on. It doesn't show because I'm at my house. which is weird, but whatever. Temperature and average speed. And once more over gets you the weather. Closest city on the map is Toronto, even though I'm Mississauga, we're neighboring cities, so whatever. And the outside temperature and time. So there's that. Let's go through the middle part of, actually let's go to the bottom because the middle part has all the good stuff in it. Here are your audio controls. Sorry, that's not true, I was looking up there. Here are your temperature controls, up, down for fan. You push that, and that gets you your, you can either slide it up and down, or use the actual touch button there, or use the hard touch button on that side. This is pretty cool. So right now the heated seat is off. Check out the middle for the intensity. Bright, little less bright, little even less bright. So that's kind of a cool move there. Another really awesome perk is I had this set to 1 the entire week I had the car, and the car actually remembered. So I think that's a really cool thing that you don't have to fish around with it more than necessary. So the middle part of the screen has all the guts in it. So let's go there, which is your home button, and then you can go through all sorts of different things. Let's go to the settings, and it's over to the bit. Let's go to car, and what's interesting here is you can actually scroll up, and your auto vehicle hold, which is the auto brake hold, you can start it on and off, and it remembers. I love this, the auto start stop. If you set it to off, it stays off. 9 times out of 10 other cars, it has to be a manual application or on application, but it always so I think almost all the cars have had it default to automatically on regardless of what you do. So that's pretty cool on that side. And there's a ton of stuff in here that you normally get on hard tactile buttons and maybe a bit of a touch screen. So I like that Subaru has kind of done, I like that they've done it. I'm not a big fan of this massive touch screen. It's 11.6 inches. Let's get that in focus. 11.6 inches in total. Tablet style, kind of like the Volvo people do. So I like it. I don't love it. Just there's things I want hard touch buttons for. So basically, all your car settings are here. Your eyesight settings are here. I don't know why you turn it off. Eyesight is a fantastic advanced safety system, and it's one Subaru is equipped with eyesight. Have won a top safety pick from IHS the last 14 years. So yeah, that's pretty impressive. So I really like that. You can change the intensity of things, you know, like cruise control, acceleration characteristic level 3. But you know, over and aside from that, there's a bunch of things you can fish through. You get your radio settings, and you can go to your phone settings and whatnot, and this and that, and general and sound. General kind of gives you your basic stuff, as you guys know already. I don't know why I'm wasting your time talking about that, but yeah, just wanted to kind of be a little thorough on that side. So I like it. Again, I don't love it. What I do like specifically, and I'm gonna try and do this with one hand. I had a Cherokee last week, and I couldn't operate anything with my glove. But here, I'm gonna put the fan up. Like, it's so responsive. Look, these gloves are ugly, they're old, they're beaten up, and they're super thick. But even still, it's so responsive, right? You just kind of, it's a tap. It's not, I'm not even giving it a lot of pressure. So well done there. Subaru lets me change the temperature and control this with my ugly old gloves on. I didn't want to get to the 10-minute mark because that's what I did last time, and here I am again, but there's a lot to say. So that covers this. One other quick thing, there's a bit of storage here, and it's a little peculiar because it's not for privacy. Maybe it's for your phone or for something, but it's angled in so things won't fall out. But I just think it's a weird look they had. I would have rather it just be a nice flush look overall. Side little mirrors right there. There's my drum set, part of it. Anyways, I like that it's there. It gives you a nice thinner A-pillar so you get better vision. All right, that's gonna wrap up the inside, and we'll be right back with the drive 2020 Subaru Legacy. One other fun little thing, if you go settings, general, birthday list, you can write birthdays in the car and it'll remind you. So I think that's pretty cute and clever. I never use it. Facebook reminds me and I've got them in my calendar anyway, but kind of a cool thing. Let's do the drive 2020 Subaru Legacy. So this is the limited trim. It is the third out of 6 trims. This comes with a 2.5 liter engine giving you 182 horsepower, 176 pound-feet of torque. It's not a particularly fast, quick, or brisk acceleration engine, But if that's what you want, bump up to one of the 2 GT options on the Legacy trim ladder, and that gets you, I believe, 260, 270 horsepower, and a lot more torque as well. But this is a great commuter car, gets you to and from. You know, yes, I say it's a little slow and sluggish, but it's not dangerously slow. You know, you just put your foot down, and yes, your revs will go 3,000, 4,000, maybe 4,200 as far as going through the CVT steps, but you'll still get to where you're going without any kind of issue. Just for me, it feels a little slower than it should. I'm going to try and stay focused, but I might jump all over the place here with this. The closest thing I can compare the Legacy to is the new Nissan Altima, because Altima's got standard all-wheel drive, and Subaru, of course, because that's their big platform, has their all-wheel drive as well, the symmetrical real-time all-wheel drive. It didn't snow this week, so I didn't get a chance to really experience it in the Legacy. I've experienced it in a bunch of other Subarus I've had over the last several years. Driving feel and style, it's a mid-sized sedan. Yes, it handles well. There's very little oversteer, very little understeer for me, and that's a good thing. It's surprisingly easy to park for a car of this size, and that makes me happy. I did forward parking, I did backward parking, I did parallel parking. I don't know why I did that, because that doesn't really say much about parallel parking, but that's what I used. The Harman Kardon sound system in this specific trim and all the higher trims is remarkable. 12 speakers, 576 watts. If you're going to be in a car with very comfortable seats, leather heated seats for that matter, on the limited trim, for me, I figure why not have a great audio system, and apparently Subaru read my mind, because this system sounds terrific. You don't get a lot as far as options and controls go. There's treble, mid, bass, and you can adjust it from front to back and left to right, but it doesn't really need it. All right, it's not like the BMWs where you can play with your megahertz displays. But the point I'm getting at is this stereo system sounds absolutely fantastic. Nice boomy bass, a nice crisp, clear talk radio. So well done there, Subaru. 11.6-inch screen. I know I said I wasn't in love with it, because you got to do a bit of digging, and it takes a bit of getting used to, and just, I don't know, I miss tactile buttons. And as forward-thinking as Subaru is, and all the other manufacturers who are going bigger and bigger with their touch screens, there's got to be a blend somewhere that you can have a larger screen, but you can also have a few more tactile buttons and hard touch buttons, or whatever the word is you want to choose. So that's my 2 cents on that. I love the LED lights are standard for your fog lights and your day runners and your actual lights. Sunroof's nice. Let's a bunch of light in the cabin, and it's a gray cabin, at least this Tester is, so it's not too dark, but I like that it's a little lighter than that. On the road itself, fairly quiet. Maybe that's a CVT, maybe because it's not a turbo engine, but very little outside road noise bleeds into the cabin, so you get a relatively serene ride quality. Lots of great visibility. There's these little side windows, which you can't see, but I'm pointing at, and maybe I'll put a little cutaway clip to that maybe now-ish. 70-liter gas tank, regular gas for not only this one, but their bigger engine, or a higher tuned engine. Pretty good that you can use 87 octane on that. A weird thing for me is trims 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 come with this big 11.6-inch screen. The base model comes with 2 7-inch screens, and I think that's just a waste of money. Yes, hardly anybody does buy the base model, but don't punish them for buying it. Like, if you're giving every single Legacy this remarkably advanced system through your eyesight, which is up there, why not just give them the 11.6-inch screen? You know, you have it in every other trim anyway. Why not make it this one as well? And, you know, maybe people will buy the base model, and it's only a couple $1,000s difference. Anyways, let's circle back to eyesight, because it's incredibly advanced. I love that Subaru has made it standard on every single Legacy. Well done. I know that Honda has their lane watch, and Toyota on their $22,000 Corolla, which is weirdly absurd. They have a pretty decent suite of safety systems as well. So let me get out of the dark here. I think we're gonna just pull over here where there's a little bit of light left. I'm running out of daylight. It's 5 o'clock. Anyways, top IIHS safety pick 14 years in a row when equipped with eyesight. Again, pointing up there. The fact that every Legacy has eyesight. I will clap on camera for you, Subaru. It's great, and it's just such a forward way of thinking, and it shows Subaru actually cares proactively about safety. I think that's it. Oh, fuel figures. I will put them right there, but I will tell you anyway. 8.8 in the city, 6.7. Let's try that again. 8.8 in the city, 6.7 on the highway, 8.8. Oh, I screwed that up again. This time, for sure. You know, just read the numbers. We'll be there. Everything's pretty good for a sedan. And sedans aren't dying. I don't think they're dying anymore. Subaru's not going to spend millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars on developing something all new. Neither is Nissan. Neither are any manufacturers that don't rhyme with bored. Looking at you, Ford. Anyways, 2020 Subaru Legacy. Pretty great vehicle overall. I would personally take an Outback over a Legacy. I've got a thing for station wagons. I love them. But if you want something that's functional and has a ton of safety, drives well, relatively good on gas. I hit 9.9 for an average over 300 kilometers. I had a crappy week of driving in the city, and just that's pretty much what it was. I think only maybe 50 or 60 kilometers were done on the highway. Anyways, that's going to wrap up the review. Any questions, please let me know. I'll be more than happy to answer them as quickly as possible. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate the support. Please keep watching my reviews. Again, any questions, let me know. And I almost screw that up, but I stopped. I'll be back sooner than later with my next car review. Thank you for watching. That was awkward. I'm also growing a beard, in case you hadn't noticed. Now that was awkward. Okay, video done.